Welcome to SVG-TV News for Thursday, December 20th, 2018. I am Jennifer Richardson with the details. The Automatic Exchange of Financial Account Information Common Reporting Standing Act 2016 was passed today in Parliament. Minister of Finance Camila Gonsalves, who presented the bill, said it will keep them abreast with international financial standards, which is governed by the Organization of Economic Cooperation Development, the OECD. Minister Gonsalves said that SVG signed on to the Convention of Mutual Administrative Assistance on Tax Matters in 2016, hence the need to have this legislation in place. One key area, he said, that will be addressed through the legislation is tax avoidance.
This act provides for essentially a form, a self-certification form, or a self-certification report, because as you'll see, it says information, whatever called, that performs or purports to perform the purpose of self-certification. And that is information about who you are, where you live, if you have a tax identification number in another state, your residence, and they collect this information and then you affirm it. They can collect it orally or they can collect it by a form, and you affirm it, and based on that information they may have to share your tax information with another jurisdiction.
Leader of the Opposition, Dr. Godwin Friday, supported the passage of the bill while highlighting issues that persons face with banks.
About our international treaty obligations with respect to all these financial dealings. The OECD standards, the requirements that are being made with respect to countries reporting and the impact that they're having on basically doing financial transactions in this country. I mean, one of the most difficult things nowadays, you can't even open bank accounts almost in St. Vincent. I've had persons, I'm a lawyer, I've had clients who are fully reputable people, but the kinds of information that is being required, you know, they only left to ask for blood or something from the person applying for the application. Even for citizens, you know, for residents or persons or institutions with banks have had accounts there for years and years and years. They find some reason to say that you have to update it every so often and then provide the same information you provided before you.
The issue with banks requiring several documents to be opened to open an account and keep their accounts open was also addressed by Prime Minister Dr. Rav Gonsalves, who said that it is an issue that has to be addressed.
The problems relating to banking, correspondent banking, and the impact on the stringent regulations, the cost of doing business. These, for instance, European standards are built upon the FATCA, American standards. And as the Honorable Leader of the Opposition says, it's becoming very difficult for bona fide people even to open bank accounts. And it is worse for those of us who are inside of this house or who hold high office, ambassadors and the like, because they're called, Mr. Speaker, you yourself is a PP, a politically exposed person. And everybody here is a PP. And politically exposed persons, that's a category which requires even greater stringency.
After a long debate, Parliament yesterday gave the government the go-ahead to secure a 135 million EC dollar loan from the Republic of China on Taiwan to construct a hotel in the Mount Twin Peters Hope area. Members of the opposition maintained that while they do not oppose the project, they were not given enough information and time to deliberate on what it entails. Minister of Tourism Cecil Sesmaki said that the project will be great for SVG's tourism sector, noting the need to meet the demands for accommodation from visitors to SVG, bearing in mind that the hotel will have 250 rooms. Similar sentiments were echoed by Prime Minister Dr. Rav Gonsalves, who said while he prefers the opposition to say no to the bill for political interests, he rather that they support it in the interest of the public. Wrapping up the debate, Minister of Finance Camila Gonsalves said the hotel project is a huge investment for SVG and that the timeliness of the passage of the bill was necessary.
Late in next year. And we have at Mount Twin Peters Hope a $50 million 250 room hotel. That is $300 million of works taking place in St. Vincent and the Grenadines starting this year. That is a magnificent legacy of construction, of growth, of employment, and of development across the country. All of them together, and all of us together, have come up with a wonderful project. We require this money. I didn't want to wait, Mr. Speaker, until after the budget debate. That's another month. We wouldn't be signing this loan authorization until sometime in February probably, which would delay our process. And this is what we talk about implementation. We have to strike when the iron is hot and get this thing going. So we want to begin the new year with the authority of this government, of this parliament, to seek this money and get the show on the road with the construction of this hotel. Accordingly, I wish this bill speedy passage, and I would like to move that this Honorable House resolve itself into a committee of the whole House to consider the bill clause by clause.
Local police are investigating 2 incidents of aggravated burglary, indecent assault and rape which occurred yesterday. A news release from the police said an unknown man entered the dwelling house of a 38-year-old domestic as a trespasser and had in his possession a gun. The burglar indecently assaulted the complainant and compelled her to go upstairs at gunpoint. The accused burglar also reportedly raped a 15-year-old student. The police are also investigating another incident where an unknown man entered the dwelling house of a 44-year-old domestic as a trespasser and had in his possession a gun. The accused burglar reportedly raped a 16-year-old student. The police say both incidents occurred between 4 a.m. and 4:40 a.m. on Wednesday. The police are urging members of the general public to report any suspicious activities in their communities to the nearest police station or call 911 or 457-1211 or 456-2906 for assistance. The police are also encouraging anyone who may have information that may lead to the arrest and prosecution of sex offenders to call the Sexual Offences Unit at 456-1750 or any other police station. As the Christmas festivities heightens, many persons have been stocking up on their favorite meat products, and the local health authorities have been doing their part to ensure that these meat products are fit for consumption. SVG-TV News team caught up with Public Health Officer Mishka Garaway, who is responsible for District 2 and 3B, which include the Belvedere area. Garaway noted that their role is critical to the health of the public and that they are ensuring butchers follow the necessary guidelines as to where and how they slaughter animals.
Done in a slaughterhouse where the area is tiled or concreted floor that allows for easy cleaning. Right? The animal should be hoisted, and this would also prevent any contamination from sand or other debris. Okay? Also, clean equipment should be used when dealing with the animal. Persons are also required to wear clean clothing, all right, and should be medically certified before they start slaughtering animals. As you know, our body and our hair, we can carry staphylococcus. So the reason why we're covering our hair is just to control that aspect of it so that we don't contaminate the meat with our hair. Same with the glove and the coat.
She said the practice of slaughtering animals in the open, putting the meat on banana leaves, is not acceptable.
Well, it's not acceptable because the banana bush can slip at any moment and the animal can come into contact with the dirt that is underneath. So it's always best to have a concreted area and have access to potable water so that it can be constantly washing down the area so that the feces or other elements would not contaminate the meat.
The public health officer also noted that one must be mindful not to pollute the waterways with animal waste.
Persons who are doing street-side slaughtering, all the waste either goes into the soil or into the rivers and the streams, right? And that is polluting the waterways. So once I have a concreted area and the water, the drains are channeled to a soakaway, then that way could control the waste and even prevent the breeding of flies and other pests.
Okay, in relation to flies in an area like this, is it something you have to look out for?
Yes, you have to look out for it because the flies can contaminate the meat. The flies carry microbes on their body, and once they land on the meat, then pollute the meat.
The tripe, which is the stomach of a cow or small ruminant, is used to create many unique dishes, and Public Health Officer Mishka Garaway said that this part of butchered animals must be carefully cleaned to ensure that the end product is safe for consumption. She recommends that it be cleaned separately from the other parts of the meat and not by using river water.
Okay, so we also ask our persons when they clean this tripe to do it in a similar manner, right? In a concreted and clean area where the waste can also be channeled to the soakaway, and that the tripe would not be contaminated with other elements. Persons normally go to the riverside and clean this tripe, right? When they do that, they contaminate the river by washing away the waste into the river, and also the tripe becomes contaminated with small stones and other pieces of debris that are found at the riverside.
And should it be clean in the same environment as what you clean in the rest of the animal, or should it be separate?
Yes, it should be separate, right? Because you don't want to contaminate the animal, the carcass that's already dressed with the waste from the tripe.
The public health officer said consumers must take their own health seriously and should ask to see the butcher's public health certificate before purchasing any meat.
Advising all consumers that to ask the butchers when buying any meat for the certificate that is issued by the public health department, because after we would have inspected the animal and it's safe, we deem it safe for consumption, then we issue a certificate, right? So please ask for it before purchasing the meat.
The ham is considered one of the most popular food items for Christmas, and opinion is divided as to whether the salt or the frozen ham delivers the superior taste. And as persons stock up on their hams, the Public Health Department is doing its part to ensure persons take home a good ham. Today, our news team caught up with Public Health Officer Jacqueline Jordan as she inspected some salted ham. She said using one's sense of sight and smell is key when looking for a good cut of ham.
Well, basically, when you're coming to purchase a ham, it's good to look for a wholesome ham, right? This is an excellent example of a good ham, right? You check for the smell, right? No offensive smell, right? This is not offensive. It smells good. You smell in the salt, you smell in the spices, right? And it should not be out of the package, right? Like for example, in the past, there are some bags, you'll see black spots, right? In these, you see the packaging is very well labeled. You can tell what's in it, right? And if something, the smell is off, you'll definitely tell that it's off, right? But when purchasing a ham, just use your senses. You can't taste, but you can smell and you can feel the texture, right?
Jordan said if the ham is to be cut for sale, it should be done in the presence of the consumer and used the same day.
As I'm going through here, I'm seeing these have been cut already, right? We from the public health, we recommend that if you're gonna cut the ham, it should be done, you should take it to be cut in front of you, right? But if you have to purchase it like here, we would recommend that it doesn't stay over 1 day. You must purchase it within 1 day, right? This is because it's cut, you compromise the packaging. The packaging is compromised, and it's not, the repackaging sometimes is not done sanitary enough, right? So this, in terms, it helps like bacteria can grow on it, right? And if bacteria grows, this can cause foodborne illnesses if not prepared properly.
The public health officer said frozen products should be the last items purchased on one's shopping list and the first to be stored when taken home. Jordan said this same precaution must be used when selecting a frozen ham and encourage consumers to also examine the temperature gauge in the frozen meat section at their favorite supermarket.
We call these are picnic or frozen hams, right? When purchasing, we look for texture, right? Well, basically, mostly the texture. We can see with these, they even cling wrap them tighter, right? And when purchasing, you can also look at the gauge to make sure the temperature it's at, right? We recommend that frozen products be 10 degrees, minus 10 degrees, right, or lower. Okay, look at the packaging. This is package, right? The package has not been compromised, and it's very important to look at the labeling and follow the directions.
Reigning zone champs for the Prospect area in the National Community Lighting Up competition, Belvedere, hosted the opening night of their Christmas Light Up activity last evening, showcasing a monkey jungle. The Belvedere Neighborhood Watch is the organizer of the Lighting Up activities. And according to President of the group and former Police Commissioner Keith Miller, they have added new ideas this year, which add to their theme, Coming Home for Christmas.
We'll be viewing a part of our botanic gardens right across here. We are trying to go back as far as possible. You'll notice we are having our fireside roasting breadfruit, cooking on coal fire, baking with drum oven, and things like that, trying to push us across. You'll also notice that we have now developed our own airstrip right in Belvedere. These are some of the things, these are some of the developments we are really trying to move forward with.
Member of the National Nine Mornings Committee, Lennox Bowman, said the Belvedere Light Up is one that stands out and encouraged other communities to participate in the unique Vincentian tradition.
Important to us, so we know of the true and the cultural value of the 9 mornings. What we want to do now is take that value and make sure that it transcends into the tourism potential we have for the festivals.
The Belvedere Lighting Up activity last evening also featured a number of cultural performances, including the police band. Meanwhile, the main 9 mornings activities continued in capital Kingstown at Heritage Square. Each morning, persons have been turning out in their numbers to witness and participate in the activities on and off stage. There are also a number of cultural performances through songs, poetry, dance, and plays from individuals and groups. Here are some snippets of performances.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Can you move, Cardinal? Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Carlos, I see you sit down.
Our news team caught up with some persons who attended the 9 mornings activities for the past 5 mornings and say they have enjoyed the program.
Right now, I'm living at Richmond Hill area, and normally it's a tradition that I've been coming to for some years now, and really enjoy it because, you know, it's one of the best.
Enjoying the atmosphere, the people, and the kids performing.
Everything. I'm enjoying everything. It's not my first.
Over at Richland Park, the 9 Mornings activities are also in full swing. Here is a sample of some of the cultural activities and performances you can witness at Richland Park 9 Mornings.
As far as they can reach! As far as they can reach!
Singing 10,000 reasons for my heart to holy night, the stars are brightly shining all around us.
Ready, DJ? Change! It's all the Christmas I made them with them go on out of breath and up me.
Nine Mornings in Richland Park is said to be different, and persons returning home for the Christmas season couldn't agree more.
A bit of the ironing, and of course my daughter did a poem, so that was good too.
Let me go from 1000.
Yes, 9 Mornings was very great. It was very good. No, it's my second night. So I just want to welcome everybody out to 9 Morning at Richland Park, starting at 4 o'clock. Come on out.
Starting off the 9 Morning, here with my company, my children, Jasmine, my friends, and everybody's welcome.
Enjoying, it's nice to be out here, and we are enjoying the atmosphere and everything what's going on. It's so beautiful.
We participated this morning, it was fun.